It is exactly 2 in the morning. Your eyes are burning, dry, and heavy. Your brain is frantically sounding the alarm, violently warning you to rest. But your thumb is still aimlessly swiping up on the screen, scrolling through short videos you will not even remember tomorrow. You whisper in the dark, just 5 more minutes, and then I will sleep. But deep down, you know this is nothing but a lie. This is just another act of self-deception. You are not wide awake. You are completely exhausted. You fundamentally do not want to close your eyes. This is not insomnia. This is a textbook case of revenge bedtime procrastination. Today, I will uncover the brutal psychological truth behind why you willingly sacrifice your health to stay up late. You do not simply lack the desire to sleep. You are using these late-night hours in a desperate attempt to claw back some control over your life. In this video, I will give you a scientifically validated strategy to reclaim high-quality sleep without sacrificing personal entertainment. If you swipe away now, you will likely stay up until 3 again tonight, waking up tomorrow drowning in profound fatigue and crushing guilt. Let us honestly reconstruct your typical day. You are jolted awake by a blaring alarm clock. You hastily wash up, grab whatever is easiest for breakfast, and squeeze onto a suffocating, overcrowded train. The second you arrive at your desk, you are overwhelmed by a tidal wave of unread emails, endless meetings, and urgent directives. And it does not end when you clock out. After leaving the building, you might still be forced to reply to pinging messages in work chat groups, or come home to deal with a mountain of tedious chores. From morning until 10 at night, your time strictly belongs to your company, clients, colleagues, and family. The solitary person your time does not belong to is you. There is a concept in behavioral psychology called psychological compensation. When we spend daytime hours constantly losing autonomy over our schedules, our brain subconsciously generates a profound, agonizing feeling of deprivation. Deep into the night, when the world is silent and no one can order you around, your tired brain finally experiences a long-lost trace of pure freedom. At this exact moment, going to sleep signifies the absolute end of the day. It means that in a few short hours you must wake up and face that painful, externally controlled loop all over again. Because of this terrifying thought, you fiercely resist falling asleep. You use unnutritious activities, like mindlessly scrolling through short videos or binge-watching mediocre television shows, to actively retaliate against the version of yourself who lost control during the day. You are actively using the dangerous overdraft of your life force to declare absolute sovereignty over your time. Many people suffering from revenge bedtime procrastination fall into a deep pit of self-blame. They genuinely believe this destructive habit exists because they lack self-discipline or have incredibly weak willpower. I need you to know right now that this is a fundamental misconception. Carrying this toxic guilt will only exacerbate your nighttime anxiety. Modern neuroscience clearly demonstrates that willpower is not a magical infinite trait. It is exactly like your smartphone battery. It is a highly consumable, finite resource. Your prefrontal cortex, the specific brain area responsible for rational thinking, goal setting, and impulse control, has completely run out of power by nightfall. It has endured an exhausting day of high-intensity decision-making, emotional suppression, and cognitive drain. By midnight, that battery is utterly dead. This explains why you can confidently make a sincere plan in the morning to sleep by 11 tonight, but by 11:30, you are completely unable to stop clicking on the next video. This happens because your prefrontal cortex has effectively gone offline. What takes over your brain's command center is the limbic system, an ancient region that blindly pursues instant gratification. It operates exactly like a greedy toddler. It only wants a quick hit of dopamine. The recommendation feeds of modern short video platforms act as highly personalized, potent dopamine syringes perfectly tailored for your brain. You think you are independently enjoying your hard-earned leisure time. The dark truth is that you simply transitioned from being actively exploited by your boss during the day to being passively exploited by mathematical algorithms late at night. You have handed the steering wheel to a deeply manipulative system. Hearing this, you might retort that you worked an exhausting day and ask if you do not even have the right to relax. Relaxing is your fundamental right. The core problem lies in the specific way you choose to relax. Revenge bedtime procrastination exclusively provides junk rest rather than restorative high-quality charging. What exactly is junk rest? It refers to low-effort activities that make you feel mentally numb while doing them, but leave you extremely hollow and physically exhausted the second they end. For instance, unconsciously scrolling through endless social media feeds. During this seemingly passive process, your brain does not truly relax. It frantically works overtime to process an overwhelming avalanche of highly fragmented visual and auditory information. Consequently, your sympathetic nervous system remains locked in a tense state of chronic stress, keeping cortisol levels dangerously elevated. That is exactly why, after scrolling for 2 solid hours in the pitch dark, you do not feel energized. Instead, your head feels thick, your eyes are dry, and your heart is racing. In sharp contrast, high-quality leisure genuinely repairs and actively nourishes your frayed nervous system. Imagine reading a highly engaging book, taking 10 minutes to do an immersive full-body stretch, or focusing completely on brewing a cup of hot tea while listening to a classic record. These deliberate, slow-paced activities successfully bring your mind into a psychological flow state. They actively engage your parasympathetic nervous system, leaving you deeply satisfied and peaceful. Unfortunately, when extremely exhausted late at night, the depleted brain almost always defaults to junk rest because it offers the absolute path of least resistance. Since we have clearly seen through the hidden logic of revenge bedtime procrastination, a desperate craving for personal autonomy combined with totally exhausted willpower, forcing yourself to sleep early is doomed to fail. It directly fights your biological instincts. Instead, we need a highly structured system to break this deadlock. Here are 3 actionable steps of the sleep reset protocol you must start executing tonight. First, establish a sovereignty buffer. Do not compress your personal relaxation time into that dangerous 1-hour window right before bed. Clearly delineate 30 to 60 minutes of absolute sovereign time earlier in the evening, perhaps during your commute or immediately after dinner. During this protected time frame, do not look at work messages, do not handle chores, and exclusively do one purely enjoyable thing that makes you feel completely in control. When you experience a genuine sense of autonomy during normal waking hours, your brain's subconscious sense of deprivation drops drastically. As a direct result, your uncontrollable hunger to stay up late naturally subsides. Second, design a frictionless power-down routine. Never attempt to rely on your fragile willpower to put your phone down late at night. At that hour, your willpower bank account is totally empty. 1 full hour before your target bedtime, set a strict technology curfew. Physically move your phone charger outside the bedroom, or at least to a place where you are forced to physically get out of bed to reach it. Tomorrow, buy a basic traditional alarm clock to replace your smartphone alarm. When you inevitably feel bored in bed, make sure the only things within arm's reach are printed books or a paper notebook. Never underestimate the immense power of human laziness. As long as the physical friction required to retrieve your phone is engineered to be high enough, your completely drained brain will ultimately surrender and obediently transition into a sleep preparation state. Third, practice radical self-acceptance. Many times we stubbornly refuse to go to sleep because subconsciously we are profoundly dissatisfied with how our day went. Your mind loops with toxic thoughts telling you that your efficiency was too low or that you did not accomplish meaningful work. You unconsciously try to artificially prolong the day by staying up late, operating under the flawed delusion that as long as you do not close your eyes, today is not over, and you still have a chance to make up for those perceived failures. You must actively learn to accept the inherent imperfection of every single day. When finishing your primary work each afternoon, write down the 3 most important things you need to tackle tomorrow. Then firmly tell yourself that you have done your absolute best today. Whether you finished everything or not, today's business hours are completely over. Forgive yourself for the autonomy you lost during the day. Only by truly allowing the day to end psychologically can you finally fall asleep peacefully physiologically. Overcoming revenge bedtime procrastination is never a punishing battle of sheer self-discipline. Rather, it is a profoundly necessary journey of self-reconciliation. You do not need to prove your freedom by dangerously overdrawing your physical health. The truth is, your highest level of freedom is possessing an incredibly energetic, remarkably clear-headed morning, completely ready to calmly face any challenge the world throws at you. I'm Reset Protocol. Follow me, and I'll show you the scientific methods to find your most efficient self. See you in the next video.